Hello everyone, Coach Carole back again on January 17 with livecast number 17. And my tip today is all about 3 things that I have learned. And in specific terms, the 3 things that I've learned about how to be the custodian of my family tree. Let me share my slide with you again today. The first thing that you need to do is to research. And the thing that I've learned about researching in my ancestral records is that it's fun. It's a really exciting adventure sometimes to go down those rabbit holes and find interesting details of the lives of those who have come before me. And it's really helped to find out who I really am. In my 2 lines of ancestry, I come from a long line of tailors and tailoresses. That's on my paternal side. And I know that this has helped me in my creative pursuits with fabric in one way or another. Not making suits, but making quilts. And in my maternal line, I come from a long line of business people in the trades, plumbers, carpenters and builders, and administrative officers. I know that I've learned many of my skills about being methodical and careful from my mother. And I'm not sure that I'm very good at plumbing or carpentry. I haven't got those genes, but certainly the entrepreneurial side of that line of ancestors has come through in me. If you do your ancestral research, you'll find out a little more about yourself. The next one is the thing that I believe we should all do. That is, preserve your family history as a legacy for your descendants. Now, I think that this is essential. It's part of how we operate in this world, if we know what's come before. Now, preserving your family history can be done in many, many different ways, not just making a tree and writing it on the front page of your Bible. You can be recording the stories of your ancestors from your perspective in voice, or listening to the voices of your ancestors in interviews that you've done with them, so that you can pass on their voices to your descendants as well. Or maybe it's in print. These have stood the test of time. We all like to see the old documents when we're doing our research in their handwritten form sometimes. But having the legacy of your family history preserved in a print-based book will, I think, stand the test of time and be a great legacy for your descendants. Of course, many of us do our preserving of family history in the cloud. We may have blogs, and we have websites, and we have repositories of family trees online. Whichever way you decide, do make sure that you are leaving your legacy by preserving your family history. The last one, sharing the stories with your descendants in social media, is something relatively new in the genealogy scene, but it's become most effective in being able to share what you do as a genealogist, what you found as a researcher, and sharing the stories of your ancestors to a wider audience. You'll find that there is a huge following in Twitter. If you just go to #family-history or #genealogy, you'll see thousands of messages every day. Twitter has become the place to be for a genealogist, I believe. Facebook, of course, there are a multitude of groups that you can join where you can get helpful advice from the people who are members. LinkedIn and Instagram are also gaining in popularity. Instagram seems to be the popular place if you want visual explanations of your ancestry. Perhaps you've got old photos and so on. That is the place to be seen in Instagram because there is a younger cohort of followers there. One of the interesting things that I found just today, I wanted to share with you as the last part of this tip today, which is tip number 17. So I'll get rid of the slides and share this website with you. Just get that up on the screen for you. I was in Twitter just this morning and found reference to this site, the Federation Family, which you'll find at familyhistoryfederation.com. And in there were wonderful podcasts from what they call the Really Useful Podcast, which is a series of podcasts introduced by Joe Saunders discussing various family history research topics. And in episode 4, I found that there was one that included some of my favourite genealogists, including one of the younger people, Daniel Loftus. So there's a little plug for Joe Saunders and Daniel. Being able to listen to the podcast is a wonderful way to learn how others are doing their research and how they are sharing their stories with us. So do go and have a look at familyhistoryfederation.com. Coming back to the screen now, gone on a bit long this morning. However, I wanted to share with you a place that you might find interesting, which is my own podcast, which you'll find here at pod.co, Essential Habits for Genealogists. And I am interviewing other genealogists in there every month this year. Now, if you've enjoyed all these tips today from Be the Custodian of Your Family History, then you'll find all of these tips in the free course that I'm showing you on the screen now at my academy. So just go to coachcaroleonline.thinkific.com. Thank you for being with me this morning. I hope you've enjoyed these tips as I have in finding them for you. I'll be back later with more.